Hi guys, hi everybody out in Google Hangouts. I'm here back with my father, Dr. Alexander Haskell, and myself, Erin Paul Haskell, and we're answering the questions you guys asked. Today's question we are answering is, are some people more susceptible to toxins? And this is an interesting question because it is, what is toxins? We've gone through some of this. What does it mean to be toxic? Now the question is, are some people more susceptible to toxins? And I'm going to let my dad begin this process of answering from a doctor's perspective because he's worked with hundreds and thousands of clients over the years. Was it been 30 years, Dad?
It's been 30 years now.
Yeah, so obviously he's taken a look at a lot of people and found that all people are toxic and all people can benefit from a detox program. But why don't you answer that question? Are some people more susceptible to toxins than others?
I believe that's very true, and I say that partly because one family member comes in for various complaints, and we bring it down to various causes. One major cause being something in their household, like molds or some cases allergies to their pets or whatever it may be, but nobody else in the house is really showing any symptoms. So I definitely believe that for some reason that person is more sensitive or susceptible to being sensitive to those toxins. And one way I try to help explain that is that of course, we've been accumulating toxins over our whole life, and the idea of a person's constitution, sort of the strength of what they're born with, could be used using a bowl as a symbol that a person with a really strong constitution would have a very large bowl. A person with a more delicate or weaker constitution would have a smaller bowl. So over time, this bowl fills with our exposures and our sort of absorption of these toxins into our body, into our cells. And at some point, that more delicate constitution, their bowl becomes full. And as it's sort of spilling over, that's a time when they start to experience symptoms. While the other person living in the same household has a stronger constitution, a larger bowl, theirs may only be halfway full, and it takes maybe another 10, 20 years for that bowl to finally, fill, and then they start to experience symptoms. So that's one way of using a simple model to understand that principle.
So what I'm hearing is that some people are maybe just born with their entire system just has more capability to deal with whatever toxins and everything in our environment and whatever we eat. And other people are born with very delicate systems. And I've seen this also for people that have gone through maybe even some addiction issues or really abusing their body. Over time, their body and their immune systems go down, and then they are dealing with a lot more symptoms and allergies and all kinds of things, because over time, their body just becomes weaker, and therefore it's not able to deal with, typical environmental intoxication and whatever else as much as the next person. Is that true?
Yeah, and if we use that same principle of the bowl, we also have, various organs that are involved with, metabolism and excretion of these waste products. So the bowl has actually a sort of nozzle at the bottom, which if that's fully open and the pathways of detoxification are working well for them, even though the bowl is being sort of laden with these toxins, at the same time the body is able to secrete these toxins. So that for some people, those pathways of detoxification are compromised, and I've seen that especially true with people who have done a lot of drugs or been on pharmaceuticals for a long time, that those pathways start to decline in their ability to function properly. So the bowl will start filling more rapidly because the body cannot detoxify.
Sure. So I think this is a great place to talk about the link between the body, mind, and spirit, right? So we have, we're taking along this whole program the process of thinking about delayering and emptying the bowl of all toxins, right? So if we take this bowl, whether it be of the body, mind, or spirit, right? So some people who are very emotional tend to be extra sensitive in their bodies as well. We've talked about how the body is the perfect communicator of the spirit and whatever's going on in spirit, mind, and body. The symptoms are a communication to everyone. So someone who is considered, more susceptible to toxins, yes, it may be the body. There may be some things going on with our organs and low immunity, but there's also things that play into it around the mind. And I've witnessed people who are very emotional. They have not dealt with dealing with how they are judging so much and making so many meanings and taking everything personal and having all these drama stories going on that they're living through life. So their symptoms may be, exaggerated as well. And their body, and even just people that are looking at food, I found that if they place the meaning, this is bad for me, then all of a sudden they're like, the guilt comes in when they've eaten something. They're, one thing that could be a little bit bad for somebody turns into something that's really bad. They can feel like, oh, I ate that pizza. I'm the worst person in the world. This is a terrible thing I've done. All of a sudden they're like, oh, I don't feel well from the food. And it is exaggerated through our mind and through our processes of how we're labeling things as well. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, I think that's very true. And I know that we have a lot to cover in the webinar, but just wanted to kind of reiterate what you just said, and that was the spirit or the body is able to communicate with us in various ways. And one way is through symptoms. The body is trying to tell us that something is out of balance, whether that imbalance might be, let's say, psychological, or whether it's more physical, or whether it's a lifestyle pattern that we're in. If we're having symptoms, we just can't sort of mask them or deny them, because that is the body's intelligence speaking to us through physical symptoms, through intuition, whatever that pathway might be. And part of regaining our health is becoming more mindful, becoming more in touch with these signals that we're receiving. And a lot of what I think is in the bowl of psychology or spirit has to do with the reactive mind. The impressions we get from the outside, the messages or different things we're told by people can trigger this reactive mind and sort of stir up that bowl, so that our biochemistry, our physical body, our cells, our tissues are immediately, almost instantaneously affected by that chemistry that comes from our reactive mind.
I cannot agree more, and I think that if there's one thing and one thing only someone can get out of this program is, understanding detoxification and understanding that the symptoms of the body are the communication. They're the opportunity to listen to what's going on in the body, whether it be what you're putting in your mouth and needing more nutrients or needing to detoxify, or whether it be the thoughts that you're buying into and the reactive mind that's going on, and all of that backing up from spirit and what spirit is truly desiring, and that is to be in harmony with all of life. So if there's one message to get out of that for people that I hope, and why my father and I put this program together, is to have people take their health back in their own home, like in our home right now with us, in their own hands, and know that one thing, because out of that, all miracles come out of that. So thanks so much. I think that we answered this question beautifully, and I want to say this is an important question. Are some people more susceptible to toxins? I think we answered it. I think you did a great job. Okay, you guys.
We did a great job.
We did a great job. DailyDetoxification.com, answering your questions. So feel free to make more comments, email us, or comment below. We're on Facebook, Aaron Fall Haskell and Dr. Alexander Haskell, and have a great day. We'll talk to you guys soon.